Hussbus, bus stop. JP Hussey here, owner of the Hussey Team Mortgage Advisors, with this week's Hussbus, bus stop. It is about tax time. It's that time of year. April 15th, taxes are due. If you don't get them in by then, you got to file an extension, right? So it's that time of year. So we thought it may be good to talk a little bit about self-employed people when it comes to qualifying for a home, whether it's a purchase or a refinance, okay? So, a couple things here. Basically, mortgage underwriters, all right, clash with your accountant, your CPA, all right? Two different ways of looking at things, right? Obviously, your CPA is trying to make your tax liability less, so you need less money. Now, if you have quarterly taxes, blah, 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 but their job is to try and figure out the system and have you need less money at closing, okay? Mortgage underwriters are a little bit different, okay? So let's put this into perspective a bit, okay, of how, very simple format because it's very complex, and this is why you want to get with your loan officer that is good with self-employed clients to put it into a whole, a matrix and figure out what qualifying income is, different from what you bring in, okay? But in a simple format, here's how it kind of works on the mortgage side, all right? Let's say you're self-employed, you sell $100,000. You have $100,000 worth of gross revenue for the year. But you have a lot of expenses, you have supplies, you have, you drive a lot, there's a bunch of expenses, okay? And that's what your CPA is trying to find, more expenses to make your tax liability less, right? But let's say you make $100,000 gross revenue, but you have $60,000 of expenses, all right? Simplified here, all right? $40,000, all right? 100 minus $60,000 worth of expenses, $40,000 is what your per year your qualifying income is, okay? So this is why it clashes when you're self-employed, all right? Your CPA is trying to find expenses to make it less, where a mortgage underwriter, all right, is really looking at the true way of how much money you're bringing in on a yearly or monthly basis, okay? So I thought this was good to talk about this time of year because you're about to do your taxes if you're self-employed. And if you're self-employed, you usually wait till the last second to do your taxes. Just how it is, because you're getting everything. You got to get all this, you got to get all that. So I get it. You're getting the books together, all right? So be cognizant before you do your taxes this year, especially if you're looking to buy a home or refinance in some way, shape, or form. I would recommend going to your loan officer, getting the taxes, and look at the average from the past years. Ask you, hey, is it going to be similar to previous years, okay? Because you usually have to show 2 years worth of taxes. One note, though, if you've been in business well over 5 years, sometimes you can only go off of 1 year taxes, so they don't average it, all right? So there's a lot here, and I'm talking a lot here. I get it, and it can be confusing, right? But what I'm saying is, get with your loan officer, make sure everything's good, prepare for this year's taxes, okay, by speaking with your loan officer, especially if you're looking to buy, because you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot. Now, that's for conventional financing. I do like to note that there's a lot of different programs out there, and we're a brokerage, so we have a ton of programs where they don't do it a conventional way, and they may look more at gross receipts and different things for self-employed clients. But I will say, those terms, those rates will be higher. Conventional is always the best way, the best spot for the best rates, but there are going to be options, but the terms aren't going to be as good, okay? So be careful this year doing your taxes. It's that time of year. And if you're self-employed, make sure, again, get with your loan officer so they can plug it in and you can be prepared, because it's just not what you're thinking, and it's a different way of doing things. I hope you have a great day. If you need us, give us a shout. Hussbus, bus stop.